Welcome to another episode of Quest News Unscripted, where we chat about this week's Oculus Quest news. And first I want to talk about some of the games I've been playing this week. The first one being Guardians. Now this is a first-person shooter and real-time strategy game all rolled into one. It has player versus player and co-op multiplayer modes. And I managed to play co-op and player versus player games with the developers of this game and the moderator of the Discord channel, and I had so much fun making this one. Now I'm putting together the video currently and will be sharing it with you soon, but you don't have to wait for that video to come out in order to play this game. I'll link the Discord channel in the description below, and that Discord channel has an open beta that you can test out now for yourself. Now this game is coming to SideQuest very soon, also PC VR via Steam. Another game I've been playing this week is Disc Vendors. This is a virtual reality disc golf game. It's available on SideQuest right now for $9.99 US. I played a multiplayer game against the developer Alex, and we had a bit of trouble trying to record this one. We had actually to take 3 attempts before we did it successfully. In one of the attempts, the magnet from the battery cover of the Oculus Quest controller came out for Alex, and so he couldn't get the battery cover back on and he had to stick that back in. So a lot of bad luck with recording this one, but I'm happy to say we have this one finalized in the bag, and that video will be coming soon as well. Now let's look at some upcoming games for the Oculus Quest you can expect coming this January. And January 28th we have a Jupiter Grad. Now this is some footage captured by Upload VR. I'll leave a link to their YouTube channel in the description below so you can check this one out for yourself. This game is basically a puzzle platformer. You swing around using these plunger-like devices whilst avoiding obstacles and solving puzzles to advance to the next area pretty much. Now this game is a port, so it is available on Steam VR right now, and the reviews are generally good. It gets about 8-9 out of 10, but they do say it is generally quite short, about the 2-hour mark or around about that. So in terms of length, this might not be a lengthy game, although the Quest version is going to have a new time attack time trial mode, and it will have 90Hz support. So hopefully there is some more content in this Quest port than there is in the Steam VR version. And we see some new gameplay footage of another port coming to the Oculus Quest Jan 28th. This is Gorn, a gladiator arena combat game, and one thing I noticed when looking at this footage is that the physics seem very similar, if not the same, as the PC VR version, which is great because a lot of the fun from this game comes from the physics and the over-the-top gore. Now looking at the visuals, I do notice some differences. With the Quest version there are not quite so many shadows or lighting effects, and you don't see the blood dripping from the weapons like you do with the PC VR version. I also noticed that the crowd over the top are quite thinned out. There's not so many people in the crowd, but other than that the visuals still looking on point, and I'm still really looking forward to this one when it's released. We also hear that in the latest update to Beatsaber it now supports 90Hz mode for the Oculus Quest 2. I'm actually surprised how long it's taken them to enable 90Hz support given how popular this game is. It's one of the most popular games on the Quest, and in fact I've known some people who have only bought an Oculus Quest just so they can play Beatsaber. That's how popular the game is. But better late than never, and I'm sure it will enhance the game. It might even mean that you hit a few more blocks that you would have missed in the past because it is a bit of a smoother experience at 90Hz now. We also see that Splinter is going to have likely a multiplayer mode. So Splinter Cell VR is coming to the Oculus Quest, as well as Assassin's Creed. Ubisoft will be bringing them at some point to the Oculus Quest, and they're advertising for a senior multiplayer lead. So what this means is that they are likely going to bring multiplayer to Splinter Cell VR, which is a good thing for the most part, as long as the development of the multiplayer portion doesn't detract from the development of the single player campaign, because for me the single player campaign is the most important aspect. And I also hope the multiplayer portion features co-op, because player versus player is just fine, but co-op I think is the thing that I'd be most excited to play multiplayer in Splinter Cell VR or even Assassin's Creed. And now on to our main news story, and we have this statement from Andrew Bosworth, who is the Vice President of Facebook, and he says this: "Starting in January, we are changing the way we approach product development in Facebook Reality Labs. Instead of imagining a product and trimming it down to fit modern standards of data privacy and security, we're going to invert the process. we'll start with the assumption that we can't collect, use or store any data. The burden is on us to demonstrate why certain data is truly required for the product to work. Even then, I want us to scope it as aggressively as we can, holding a higher bar for sending data to the server than we do for processing it locally. I have no problem with us giving users options to share more if they choose to, as like an opt-in feature, but by default we shouldn't expect it. He goes on to say, I don't want us just to meet the consumer expectations for privacy today. I want us to differentiate our products on the basis of privacy. Let other companies scramble to keep up with us. So there's a lot to unpack here, but what he's saying in a nutshell is Facebook doesn't have the best reputation when it comes to security and privacy, but they're working to change that. Now, when we think about Facebook's reputation, if you're not aware, it has a pretty bad reputation when it comes to security and privacy. I'll leave a link to this wiki page in the description below, but you can see there's quite a long list here. And I'll take one of the most recent ones, unencrypted password storage here. In March 2019, Facebook admitted it had mistakenly stored hundreds of millions of passwords of Facebook and Instagram users in plain text. Basically, they were unencrypted. So they were fairly easy to hack or leak or abuse. Facebook said there was no evidence that actually happened, although the potential was there. So there's a long list in here that shows why Facebook doesn't have the best reputation when it comes to security and privacy. And what Andrew Bosworth then goes on to say, he talks about how Microsoft also had a pretty poor reputation when it comes to security and privacy, although they turned it around and they're saying that Facebook Reality Labs will do the same. Not only do that, but they'll be one of the top companies when it comes to security and privacy, which is a pretty big statement there. So I can understand why Facebook has the reputation it has, and it seems like the people at Facebook also understand this too. So it seems like what they're going to try to do is, in the future, instead of them collecting a bunch of data on you that you might not be aware of, they're going to collect the minimum data required, and then any additional data that they might collect, you'll have to opt in for that. If you don't opt in for that, they won't collect it. And so in that way, it provides a bit more security, a bit more transparency and trust in the user, and will hopefully make more people confident when making a Facebook account and using it for their Quest. Now, I'm taking this with a very healthy dose of skepticism here, given the track record, and this sounds all very good, but we'll wait to see what happens, of course, when it comes to this. Some people have also suggested that this might mean in the future we won't need a Facebook account to log in, although I don't think that's going to be the case. If we look at this tweet here from John Carmack, he's saying that the Facebook login process isn't going away, but he echoes the same things that Andrew here is talking about, in that they will build their reputation and eventually, won't happen overnight, but hopefully people will begin to trust Facebook more when it comes to security and privacy. But like I say, we will wait to see what happens with that. Now, if you want to check what data Oculus are collecting on you, you can go into this privacy center here. So there are lots of information here you can look at, as well as settings you can change. You can also view the information they're collecting on you. And if you do dislike having a Facebook account to log into your Oculus Quest due to privacy and security concerns, then this privacy center, while it might not assuage all of your concerns and issues with Facebook, it might go some way in helping you feel a bit more in control of your own data and information. Anyway, that's it for me for now. Thank you for watching this video to the end. If you've liked it or if you've disliked it, do let me know, as it will determine whether I continue with this news series of videos in the future. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.